Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Mary. Today is Wellness Wednesday. I hope everyone has been having a wonderful, fabulous week. And with Friday quickly approaching, the weekend is not far behind. So, for those of you that work Monday through Friday, I'm sure you're waiting for that weekend to enjoy your days off. But let's go ahead and dive into today's topic, which I'm going to continue talking about protecting your peace. Protecting your peace for me is something that you do despite the fact that you're trying to heal, or just anyone, regardless of what your situation happens to be, if there's trauma or no trauma. Protecting your peace every single day is essential for living a peaceful, healthy mental health life. This is the month of mental health awareness. As you all know, I do work in the mental health field. So I do work with a lot of teenagers having to deal with stresses and traumas. So that's where I get a lot of my inspirations from. You will never hear me mention anybody's name or anybody's situation, simply because we rely heavily on confidentiality. So anything that I talk about has nothing to do with people at my job, but instead circumstances that we can sometimes place ourselves in. I'm going to read two quotes that I found. One of them impacted me pretty hard because it is something that I personally have experienced. And then the second one kind of falls into the things that we do, the choices that we make based on the traumas that we have been through. So I'm going to read the first one and the second one, and then we'll discuss them both. So the first one here is: no one tells you how hard it is to rewire your brain to allow amazing things to happen. After experiencing so much trauma or pain, blessings do exist. Good people exist, and a softer life also exists. Let it happen. And both of these are author unknown, so I don't know who wrote them. The second quote is: the gym is the most underrated form of therapy. Also author unknown. And I'm going to talk about the first one. The second one is pretty much a choice or a decision that we make after experiencing trauma. So the first one talks about we don't allow good things to happen. We don't believe that we deserve to have good things happen to us. I know, I've been there, done that, and nobody does. It is true to statement. No one ever tells you that it's going to be a difficult journey. Most people will tell you it's all going to be okay. You're going to get through this. I'm here to help you, which are all amazing things to say. But no one will ever tell you how difficult it is. Before even finding this quote, those are things that I have been saying to people because I have lived them. I do tell people it's not going to be an easy journey. It's going to have to be a selfish journey, because that is, I think, one of the most important things is that a journey to healing has to be selfish. You have to put yourself above anyone else 100%, because if you're half broken, you're half healed, you're not going to be able to help anyone else. If you can't help yourself, chances are you will not be able to wholeheartedly be able to help someone. The desire is there, the stamina is there to help someone else, but the reality of the matter is you can't help someone do something that you haven't done yourself, and that is heal. So if you are not healing properly and taking time to just analyze you, take care of you, bring you out of that pain, out of that trauma, you can't show someone what it looks like if you're not experiencing it yourself. Those are things that I have found myself in, and I'm a people, or I used to be, not anymore. I used to be a people pleaser. I used to be the one that wanted to solve everyone's problems. And a lot of times it had nothing to do with me wanting to take control of everything else. It was my escape from my own reality. I didn't want to face my things, so I focused on someone else's problems instead of focusing on my own. It's 9 years, 10 years will be in October, but it's 9 years and a few months since I left a relationship that was pretty detrimental to me. I have worked extremely hard to keep my peace, extremely hard. And something interrupted it here recently, and I had to deal with it. And I'm still dealing with it, but I'm dealing with it in a different way because I know now what it looks like to have your peace. I've been experiencing it for a few years. So this time around, working on my peace, working on my mental health has been so much easier. Still difficult, still hurdles that I don't want to cross, but have to. And the same people that were there for me from the beginning are still here with me now, helping me deal with all of this new, and I can't even say that it's new because it's old, this trauma of mine, a trigger, if I may. So it was a trigger for me, and it reopened some wounds that now I'm working extremely hard on healing once again. Much easier this time around, but still I have my moments of extreme difficulty. Which leads me to the second one, which talks about going to the gym. A lot of us, and I know I do, I have before, the first thing we want to do is fix our body after going through something that has kept us down for a while. The first thing we want to do is head on, take care of the outer core instead of the inner core, because it removes having to deal with pain. I hit the gym pretty hard when I first came back, but I stopped going. Many times I stopped going. As soon as people approached me, I would stop going. And by people, I mean getting the male attention for me. I didn't want it. I didn't need it. It was not something I was wanting, and I felt like going to the gym is attracting that, and having lost the weight that I had lost, and it just opened up doors that I did not want open. I was being selfish in my journey, and I was doing everything in my power to take care of me. But the distractions would come, and I would shut down. And once again would stop taking care of me because I did not want to open doors that I felt were going to hurt me. We never know who is genuine and who is not when you're going through a healing process. So it's easier to put up a wall, 100%, a complete wall that does not allow anyone in. I did that for many, many years. I still do that to this day. I know I have mentioned it before, and a lot of people laugh when I tell them, because now that I think about it, it is comical. But when I first moved here to Oklahoma, I went to Walmart. And both my sisters were working at Walmart at the moment. And this gentleman, he approached me while I was exiting the store with some groceries and asked me to dinner. And I said no. He continued insisting, and I continued telling him, I'm not interested. Dinner requires a date, and I'm not dating. That is not what I'm doing. So then he offered me breakfast. I said, it's still going somewhere, and it's still considered a date, and I'm not dating. I try to keep walking, and he continued to insist, and he finally told me that he would have a cup of coffee with me. And my response to that, and I know now I can laugh at it, I was so aggravated that day. But in the moment, I looked at him and I said, I am not going to go have coffee with you. I'm not going to go have dinner. I'm not going to do any of the sorts. He asked me why. And I told him, because you don't have it at Starbucks. That was the first thing that came to my mind, so I did it. Humor is one of those things that we try to handle and put into everyday life because it helps us not think about what we're trying to heal from. He continued and he finally said, give me one good reason and I will completely back off as to why you will not accept any of my invites. And I looked at him seriously with genuine sincerity. I said, you have one Walmart. And he looked at me and he says, he looked so confused. But he asked the question and he said, what does Walmart have to do with that? And I said, you have one Walmart, and I'm going to ask you something. Please answer me genuinely. And I asked him how long he had been living here, and he told me about 30 years. I said, so you've married here, you've dated here, you have exes here? And he was honest. He said yes. And I said, there lies the problem. You have one Walmart, and I have no intentions of running into anyone's ex at a Walmart. So then he asked, you're not from here? And I said, no, I'm not. He asked where I was from, and he asked why the one Walmart stood out. And I said, because I come from a place that we probably have about 20, 30 Walmarts. And to get away from anybody, you can go to a different town that is probably 5 or 10 minutes away. It surprised him. He asked me where that was at, and I said Texas, which you all know Texas is a huge state. And he did. He backed off. He told me, he says, I gave you my word. It's a valid excuse, and if I ever run into you again, maybe you will accept an invite. My sister came up to me and she said, why did he leave so down? And I told her what he had said, what I had responded. And she looked at me and she says, he is one of the good people in this town. And I said, okay. And she says, I'm being serious. And I said, okay. But at that moment, I wasn't ready. I'm still not ready. If I'm going to be honest with you, I'm still not ready. So we avoid places like Walmart. I do pick up. I don't go into the store unless I absolutely 100% have to. More times than not, it's because I'm buying meats or vegetables and fruits. I'm not allowing anybody else to choose those for me. I will choose them myself. But if it's anything outside of that, I do Walmart pickup. I don't go to a lot of public places because I don't want to run into people that I'm going to run into exes, and I don't want the questions or what have you. When I'm out of town, I'm at peace. When I go to stores out of town, I'm at peace because I don't know anybody. Nobody knows me. Being here for 9 years, so many people know me and say hi to me wherever it is that I am. And I'm thankful and grateful for that. Don't get me wrong. I'm thankful and grateful. But there is that wall that still remains because of the fear of getting hurt. Which brings us back to that gym thing. We avoid public places such as the gym. And the gym is a therapeutic place. Because you get to work out, get your adrenaline pumping, bring down your cortisol levels, and you get to relax. I know I do when I happen to do workouts at the gym. My absolute favorite is the speed bag. And that is just my go-to because it relaxes me. It gets my mind off of everything else because I'm focusing on not getting hit in the face with the speed bag. So it keeps me from thinking of my things at the same time that it's moving my adrenaline, getting my blood flowing. But the minute I sense anything, I stop going. And I stop going for long periods of time. I'm working my courage to get back to the gym. because I need to. Physically, I need to. But most importantly, mentally, I need to. The workouts can calm and bring peace to you no matter what. And that is something that is priceless. Bringing peace to your life, protecting your peace is priceless, because it will get you through anything and everything. And it will help you bring peace to others. If you know what it feels like, if you know what it looks like, you're more likely to be able to share it with everyone else. That's what I intend to do. That's what I have been doing and will continue to do. And I will continue to tell people it's not an easy journey. Most definitely not an easy journey. But it is a journey worth taking. 100%. It's time consuming. It's energy consuming. But the blessings that come with that work are priceless. Work on your peace. Protect your peace. And do it in a matter of taking it as a learning lesson to learn what it looks like, so that then you can share it with someone else. And be genuine when you share it, because you know what it feels like and you know what it looks like. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to continue looking for quotes that I can bring. We will discuss them and talk a little bit more about them. But as I said, I'm going to leave this Wellness Wednesday as a protect your peace. And there are so many different ways to do that, but I will bring as many as I can before I move on to a different topic. And once again, taking care of your mental health awareness should not only be dedicated to the month of May. Let's dedicate it each and every single day of every month of every year. Thank you all for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed, smile always.